Time doesn't just pass, it gets trapped. It sinks into the corners of your home, into the grain of the wood, into the very objects you've stopped truly seeing. We spend the first half of our lives collecting, believing these things, this chair, that diploma, this set of china, are evidence, proof of our success, our memories, our love. But then you cross a threshold, sometime after 60, and a secret transaction takes place without your consent. The things stop belonging to you, and you start belonging to them. You become the tired, unpaid curator of a museum dedicated to a life you've already lived. Your home, the place you built as a sanctuary, starts to feel like a cage. A very beautiful, very sentimental cage that is slowly, quietly exhausting you. The very air feels heavy with history, and it gets harder and harder to breathe in the present moment. In the back of my closet, there's a suit, a beautiful navy blue wool suit I bought in 1988. I wore it when I closed the biggest deal of my career. I can still feel the crispness of the fabric, the confidence it gave me. It hangs there now, a silent monument. The problem isn't the moths. The problem is my shoulders. They're not the same shoulders from 1988. They're thicker. My waist is not the same waist. Just looking at that suit makes my joints ache with a strange phantom memory of trying to squeeze into it 5 years ago. It represents a man I once was, but it offers nothing to the man I am today. It doesn't keep me warm. It doesn't offer comfort. It just hangs there, taking up space, a quiet accusation. It's not a memory anymore. It's an anchor. And these anchors, they are tied directly to your energy, your mobility, and your future. We are not talking about cleaning today. Forget about tidying up. This isn't about having a house that looks good for guests who never come. This is about survival. It's about freedom. We are talking about identifying the 7 quiet thieves that are hiding in plain sight in your home, making you old before your time. They are stealing your energy, your focus, and your physical independence, one dusty keepsake at a time. I made every mistake. I let my past imprison me in my own home for years, and it cost me. It cost me dearly in ways I'm only now beginning to understand. I am telling you this now so that perhaps you don't have to be as stubborn as I was. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you, because understanding this simple truth could save you years of pain and regret. It could give you back the life your possessions have slowly been stealing. I had a friend, Arthur, a brilliant man, a retired engineer from Detroit. In his garage he kept a god. It wasn't made of stone or gold. It was an old oak toolbox that belonged to his father, a relic from the 1960s. A massive thing, with steel latches that groaned when you touched them, tarnished by decades of humidity. Arthur hadn't opened it in 30 years. The tools inside, a collection of obsolete wrenches and hand-cranked drills, were useless in this century. But the box itself, for Arthur, it was a monument, a shrine to a man who could fix anything. On a humid Saturday, the garage held the faint, holy scent of old motor oil and aged wood, the smell of his childhood, of watching his father's capable hands. The toolbox sat in the corner, heavy and permanent, blocking the path to the holiday decorations. It was a testament to his father's strength, but it was also a barricade. It was December of 2021. His wife, Margaret, asked him to get the Christmas decorations down from a high shelf. The toolbox was in the way, as it always was. Arthur, now 74, and carrying the quiet complaints of an aging back, waved her off. "I've got it," he said, the old pride speaking for him. He bent his knees, just like they tell you to. He gripped the cold, unforgiving handles. He pulled. It was a dead weight. He grunted, put his entire body into it, trying to drag the chest just a few inches. And that's when he heard it. Not the scrape of wood on concrete, but a dull, sickening crack from deep inside his own body. A lightning bolt of white-hot pain shot down his leg. He froze, the smell of dust and oil suddenly sharp and nauseating. The great irony, the universe's cruel joke, was that the symbol of his father's ability to fix things is precisely what broke him. The months that followed were a blur of agonizing pain and sterile physical therapy rooms. A slipped disc, that's what the doctors called it. I called it an eviction notice from his own body. He lost his golf game. He stopped working in the garden, his pride and joy. He became afraid of movement, of twisting the wrong way, of lifting anything heavier than a milk carton. He was a prisoner in his own home, haunted by the ghost of his own strength. He told me later, his voice quiet with a regret that was almost physical. "I wasn't just holding on to a box, you know. I was holding on to the man who was still strong enough to carry it." The day he finally called a young neighbor to come and take that toolbox away, he said he felt a click in his back, not of pain, but of release. He let go of the physical weight, and the invisible weight, the one that was truly crushing him, lifted with it. Arthur's story isn't just about a toolbox. It's about a ghost. His home, like so many of ours, had become a boarding house for the phantoms of his past. Your home is not just four walls and a roof. It's the physical architecture of your mind. Every object you keep that no longer serves the person you are today occupies precious mental real estate. That formal dining room you haven't used since 2012, it's not just a room, it's a monument to a life you no longer lead. And your mind is the unwilling security guard, dusting it and keeping it safe. That sewing machine from a forgotten hobby is the ghost of a past ambition. That suit in the back of the closet is the ghost of a younger, more powerful you. We keep them because we think they are us. We think they are proof that we lived, that we mattered. But they are not you. They are chains. And every day you spend dusting them, moving them, and worrying about them is a day you are not living the life that is waiting for you right now. We have been taught a lie, a dangerous, soul-crushing lie. The lie is that the sum of our possessions equals the value of our life. It is a fool's equation, and the bill always comes due in our later years. True wealth after 60 is not a full house. It's an empty calendar and a clear mind. The physical space you create by letting go is not a void. It is not emptiness. It is potential. It is the room you need to become the next version of yourself. It's where you can finally unroll a yoga mat. It's the silence where you can hear yourself think for the first time in decades. It's the freedom from the psychic weight of 1,000 tiny obligations. To let go of an object that represents a past identity is terrifying, because for a moment you feel like you are erasing yourself. But you are not. You are making space. Space for peace. Space for spontaneity. Space for the person you have yet to become. That is where the real work of longevity begins. Let's start with the things closest to your skin. The good guest towels. You know the ones. The stiff, decorative linens in the guest bathroom that no one, including you, is ever allowed to use. You dry yourself every morning with a thin, scratchy towel that's seen better days, while those plush towels sit there, waiting for guests who rarely come. This is not hospitality. It's a quiet act of self-neglect. You are the most important guest who will ever live in your home. Using that soft towel on a Tuesday morning is not indulgent. It's a declaration that your daily comfort matters. And what about that dusty sewing machine in the corner? Or the woodworking tools you haven't touched since your hands started to ache? These aren't aspirations anymore. They are graveyards for old hobbies, monuments to guilt. They whisper, "You quit," every time you walk by. Letting them go isn't admitting defeat. It's liberating yourself to find joy in who you are now, even if that's just a person who enjoys a quiet cup of tea. Now let's go to the kitchen, the land of heavy things. That 10-pound stand mixer you used to make birthday cakes for your children, who are now 45 and have mixers of their own. The bread machine from 1997. The juicer that takes 20 minutes to clean for a single glass of juice. We bought these things believing they would make us healthier, more creative. But after 60, the greatest enemy of good nutrition is friction. It's the hassle. These complicated, heavy tools make the simple act of preparing a healthy meal feel like a chore. That's why you reach for the toast instead of the salad. A simple, sharp knife and a clean cutting board are far more useful for the body you have today than a food processor with 12 attachments you can't remember how to use. Free your counters, and you will free your diet. Sell that heavy machine, and use the money to buy pre-chopped vegetables for a month. Trade the burden for ease. And then there are the boxes, the doom boxes, the sagging cardboard coffins in the attic, the basement, or the back of the closet. They are filled with your children's third-grade art projects, every report card, unsorted photographs from a life before phones, old letters from your mother. You look at them and feel a wave of something that is part love, part dread. This is not nostalgia. This is undigested time. The sheer physical weight of these boxes creates a psychic weight. It's a massive, undefined task that paralyzes you. It represents a past you can't fully process, and a future task you fear you'll never complete, leaving a burden for your children. You don't have to tackle it all at once, but you have to stop seeing it as sacred. Start with one box, just one. Give yourself 1 hour. Keep one drawing from each child, not 50. You are not erasing the past. You are curating it, so you can finally stop dreading it. Look at that formal dining room. The giant heavy table that seats 12, polished to a high sheen, surrounded by chairs that are just as heavy. When was the last time you had 12 people for dinner? Thanksgiving of 2018? For 364 days a year, that room is a museum exhibit. It is dead space, collecting dust, demanding your energy to keep it clean. It represents a formal, rigid life that, let's be honest, you are no longer living. That room is prime real estate in your life. Reclaim it. Sell the set to a young family just starting out and use the money for a trip. Turn the room into something that serves you daily. A yoga space to keep your body moving. A comfortable reading room with the perfect chair and a good lamp. A puzzle table where you can exercise your mind. Stop sacrificing your daily living space for a once-a-year performance of a life you've already outgrown. Give that room back to yourself. Let's open that medicine cabinet. It's not a pharmacy. It's a museum of past illnesses. The expired prescriptions from that bout of bronchitis in 2019. The half-used ointments. The vitamins you bought with good intentions and then forgot. Clinging to these old remedies does not prepare you for the future. It chains you to the anxieties of the past. It's a physical manifestation of a lack of faith in your present health. Clear it out. A clean, current, and organized medical supply is an act of taking charge of your well-being today. The same goes for your bookshelves, those stacks of books you should read. They are not knowledge waiting to be discovered. They are intellectual obligations, and their spines silently judge you for what you haven't done. The freedom to reread a beloved favorite is far greater than the burden of 100 unread shoulds. Keep the 10 books that shaped your soul. Donate the rest, and let go of the homework. These 7 things The towels, the hobbies, the appliances, the boxes, the dining set, the medicines, the books are not just stuff. They are stagnation, given physical form. They are anchors disguised as memories, holding you in the harbor of a life that has already been lived, preventing you from sailing into the open waters of who you are now. Letting them go is not about loss. It is about liberation. It's about choosing the person you are over the person you were. Now I want you to do a small exercise with me, right now. Pause for a moment. Look around your room, or picture your garage, your closets. Ask yourself honestly, what in here is serving the life I want to live for the next 10, 20 years? And what is just a heavy monument to the past? What is helping me grow? And what is keeping me stuck? I want to know. Tell me in the comments below. Which of these 7 thieves is the hardest one for you to evict? We're all in this together. Let's make this a conversation. The cost of ignoring this isn't a messy house. It's your independence. It's your future. The real world consequence, the one we don't dare speak about, is the fall. Picture it. You're 76, rushing to answer the phone, and your foot catches on that stack of old magazines you meant to move, or the corner of a rug that's been buckled for years. You go down. A broken hip at this age isn't just an injury. It's a potential foreclosure on your freedom. It's a financial catastrophe. You can't get a loan for retirement. Every dollar drained by hospital bills, by in-home care, by modifications your house now desperately needs, is a dollar stolen from the dignified life you saved for. The brutal irony is that your home, the place that was supposed to protect you, becomes a physical liability that actively works against your body and bankrupts your future. Your sanctuary becomes a beautifully decorated hazard zone, and you are its only victim. But the financial cost pales in comparison to the toll on your soul. That fall is the turning point. It's the start of months of painful rehabilitation, the loss of your mobility, the quiet shame of needing help for everything. It's the sterile quiet of a care facility where you lie awake listening to the searing, gut-wrenching whisper of regret. If only I had moved that stack. If only I had gotten rid of that rug. It leads to the conversation you have always dreaded, the one where your children, their faces etched with love and worry, explain that you can't live alone anymore. You didn't lose your balance just because you were old. You lost it because your home was booby-trapped by your own past. It was a home set up for a younger, more agile person you no longer are. You become a prisoner of your possessions in the most literal way possible, confined by the very history you refuse to release. And this brings us to the greatest thief of all, the most cunning fraud you will ever let into your home. His name is Someday. He whispers to you about a special occasion. He tells you to save the good china, the fine crystal, the expensive dress. Not today, he says. Today is ordinary, but someday is a liar. He is a phantom who promises a banquet that will never be served. Every object you dedicate to him is a piece of your present life that you have willingly sacrificed. You trade a real, tangible Tuesday for an imaginary future. That someday you're saving for? It isn't a date on the calendar. It's a ghost town in your mind where all your best things go to gather dust. It is the most dangerous form of procrastination because it feels like prudence. But it's not. It's theft. It is the quiet robbery of your one precious, unrepeatable life, happening right under your own roof. And you are the one holding the door open for him. The cruelest part of this con is that someday doesn't just steal your future joy, it poisons your present reality. That hoard of items for a hypothetical future isn't sitting there passively. It's working against you right now. It takes up physical space that your current body has to navigate. It takes up mental space, a constant low-grade hum of unfinished business. It demands your energy to be cleaned, maintained, and worried over. You are paying rent in the currency of your life force to store props for a play that may never be staged. The time for the formal dinner party was 20 years ago. The time to use the good towels is this morning. You can't get back the thousands of days you made your life harder, less comfortable, and less beautiful, all in service of a fantasy. Someday is a thief that steals today. Stop letting him get away with it. The only special occasion you are guaranteed is the one you are living in this exact moment. Here is your homework. It is not a suggestion. It is non-negotiable. It will take 15 minutes, and it is the first step to reclaiming your life. Go to your bedroom. Open one drawer from your dresser. Just one. The sock drawer, the underwear drawer, any drawer that holds the things closest to your skin. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Empty the entire thing onto your bed. Now for the real work. Get a piece of paper. Right now. I'll wait. Write down 3 things you are saving for that thief someday. The good bottle of scotch. The phone call to your cousin Carmine in Florida, using the fancy soap. Got 'em? Now take your pen, cross out someday next to each one, and write this month. That is your new deadline. That is your pact with reality. This work is not easy, but you do not have to do it alone. If you are serious about this, if you want to learn how to walk with lightness instead of being dragged down by the weight of your past, then subscribe to this channel. This is your commitment to yourself, a promise to age with intention and freedom. I've told you what I know. The rest is up to you. Now go. Go live your life. I'll see you in the next one.